All right, now we're going to get into data and database fundamentals. So this domain also covers backup strategies, which are super important, not just for the exam, but for sure when you actually get out there and start working in the field. This backup section will alone appear not on just the A plus, but every certification after that. So learn it while you're here because it's going to pay off in your entire career and the entire time you planning on getting certs. Backups are super important. Here we go. So the different types of backups are, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. We're getting the database first. I got so excited. Oh shit. Okay. So database structure, right? So you got table, field, row, primary key, foreign key, query, and port. So table organized data into rows and columns. A column, a category of data. A row, a single entry of data. A primary key is a unique identifier for each record. A foreign key links one table to another. A query is a request to retrieve or manipulate data. A report is a formatted output of data from a database. Now you got two different types of database. You got a relational and you got a non-relational. So relational is pretty rigid, it's structured with tables and defined relationships. So every transaction either fully succeeds or fully fails in a relational database. An example of something that we use a relational database is something super important like a bank would use relational databases. Hospitals would use relational databases, stuff that is super important. Now, non-relational is a little bit more flexible and you can scale it a lot faster because it stores data as documents. It has key value pairs or graphs. Twitter or X handles billions of tweets that don't have fixed structure. It doesn't have to be relational, right? Because if it was relational, it would be a whole hell of a lot slower and it would break a whole hell of a lot more often. Now, we're going to get into the value of data and different backup strategies, right? So you got data-driven decisions, you got reporting, monetization, and compliance. So organizations use data to make better business decisions because men lie, women lie, but numbers do not. So you just look at those numbers, what's going on, where are we at now, what do we need to do to get better? You got reporting, which is going to convert raw database stuff into formatted insights to where at a glance anybody can look at it and say, oh, okay, I see what's going on. I see where we at. I see what we're doing right. I see what we need to improve on. Then you got monetization. Data has a financial value. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, Amazon. The data is like it's like gold, right? Because the more they know about you, the easier it is to sell stuff to you, right? Then you got compliance. So healthcare and finance is the biggest when it comes to compliance. HIPAA laws, PCI DSS, GDRP. You got to have policies, guidelines, governance to make sure that everybody is safe. Now, when it comes to backups and having a backup strategy, it depends on your company, what they want to do, but so on and so forth. There's different types of backups. So a full backup is a whole shebang bang. It's going to take the longest and it's going to back up everything. And that's usually best to do when nobody's on the network, when nobody's using none of the devices, right? Then you got an incremental backup and it backs up only data that changed since the last backup, right? It's fastest to run, but it is the slowest to restore because to restore, you got to restore the whole shebang bang plus every incremental sequence that you saved. Then you got a differential backup. So this backs up all the data since the last full backup. Faster to run than a full and faster to restore than an incremental because all you got to do is restore the full and the last differential. Last but not least, local versus cloud backup. Now, the local is cool. The cloud is cool. The only thing that's bad about the local is, let's say that, God forbid it's a flood or a storm or shit catch on fire, the local backup is gone. With the cloud backup, you should have access to it all the time, right? But if something happens to their server space, if something happens to whatever they got going on, then it may get tricky, right? So you just got to make sure that you have fail safes across the board. Oh, and then I want to talk about the 3-2-1 rule. So the 3-2-1 rule is real simple. You need to have 3 copies of data, 2 different media types, 1 copy offsite. That is an industry best practice. So if one gets blown up, you got 2 more, right? So you got 3 copies of data, 2 different media types, and 1 copy offsite. The reason for the copy offsite is what I said, just in case weather, just in case fire, just in case anything crazy happens, you always have access to it. Now, let's get to this question. All right, a company performs a full backup every Monday night. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they perform incremental backups. On Friday morning, the file server crashes and all the data needs to be restored. How many backup sets are required to fully restore the data to its state at the end of Thursday? 3, 2, 1. All right, so you would need 4 backup sets. Monday, full backup, plus Tuesday, plus Wednesday, plus Thursday, because you were doing incrementals. Well, incremental backups, you need to back up the full thing, plus every other incremental that you had. The data cannot be read unless they got the damn key too. So file records have not been altered without authorization. This is integrity. That's a concern around that. And the solution is hashing. Hashing is real simply put, a cryptographic hash of a database record. It acts as a fingerprint. So if any field is changed, even one thing, you turn a 1 to a 2, it's going to be inside there and it's going to say, hey, somebody tampered with this stuff. We went through all 6 domains, and I want to tell you exactly what the hell you need to do on test day. So I'm going to give you a strategy to turn all this knowledge that we just learned into a passing score on exam day. The process of elimination is your best friend. Even when you don't know the answer, you almost always know, hey, that ain't it. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that one is not it. So cross out any clearly wrong answers. Often you can get, you can scratch out at least 2 of the obvious, okay, I know it's not that, right? And then worst kind of worse, you can do a coin flip in between the last 2, right? Hopefully you know exactly what the hell the answer is, but just make sure that you don't that you don't pick, one of the answers you know it's not. Also, you got to watch for CompTIA's language on the actual exam. The words most, best, fastest, cheapest, best, first thing, last thing. Make sure that you are paying attention to those things. Also, make sure that you're paying attention to multiple answers. Some questions, if they're multiple choice and it has multiple answers. So if it says choose all that apply, choose all the ones that apply, please. All right. Also, manage your time, man. 70 questions, 60 minutes. That means that you got about 50 seconds per question. If a question is taking you more than a minute and a half, flag it and come back to it. Don't let just one hard ass question tank, the 10 easy ones that may be after it. Okay. Also, take at least, I would say, 5 to 10 full practice tests before you go through the exam. Not to see if you pass, but it's really just to see and identify what am I the weakest at, right? If you score a 60 on security questions and a 90 on networking, then your ass need to be paying attention to security because you already got networking. And if you need a practice question or anything like that, we have a full exams simulator in our IT for beginners program. And we also have exam simulator that can help you for A+, Net+, or a Security Plus. And remember, you need a 650. That's all you need, man. But this all you need is a 650 out of 900. That's about 72%. And you can miss 20 questions and still pass. You ain't got to be perfect. You just need to be sufficient to pass this, build your confidence, and do what you need to do. Don't overthink it. Your first instinct is usually right. And if you're taking it at home or if you go into an exam center, just be prepared. If you're physically going somewhere, depending on where you live, if you're in a major city, Houston, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, place that gets crazy ass traffic, leave early because the last thing you want to do is be rushing, trying to get there, and just, be in a cool, calm environment. So congratulations, man. You just finished the complete course. This is what you need to do right now. Whatever notes you have, whatever domains you're the weakest at, you need to rewatch those domains. Review all the domains where it was unclear or if you got any of the questions wrong. If you're super serious about starting a tech career, learning all the fundamentals of IT and passing this certification in 7 days, go over to itmasterkey.com now, passtechcerts.com, and enroll into our IT for beginners program. We guarantee that you can pass this certification in 7 days. This is what you need to do if you really are ready to win. Last but not least, at least comment done. If you made it all the way to the end of this, I'm proud of you. Comment done. Tell me that you completed the course. I'm gonna read every comment. Let me know what you got going on, where you're from, if this was helpful, if this was valuable, what other courses would you like to see? Also, make sure we got an entire playlist with over 100 videos right here on YouTube. Look at our IT for Beginners playlist. Don't wait. Go watch all those other damn videos that we have. But if you really are ready to stop doing this on your own, if you're really ready to learn from me and my team and get the same wins, the same tutelage, the same shit that you need to really make this happen and start getting certified, go ahead over to passtechcerts.com. You can enroll into our IT for Beginners program, and you can pass in 7 days. If this free stuff is valuable to you, just imagine what you're going to get once you invest in yourself. Other than that, I was more than happy to help you pass this exam. I hope it was valuable for you, and I'll see you in class.